Yo, what's going on, guys? Bot Mentality here with a quick trade recap for you. And today's trade was on the SPX as well. I have the SPY pulled up here in front of me. And today is October 30th of 2018, and it is Tuesday. So I just want to walk you through. Today's was actually a losing day. Just took one trade, didn't work out, so I went ahead and took it off and just went ahead and walked. No stress about that, and I'll kind of jump into what my thought process was, why I took the trade, and why I ended up stopping out, and kind of where we're at now. So this whole thing starts tomorrow. Let's go over the past 5 days, or starts yesterday. So 2 days ago, we saw a lot of volatility there into the close Friday, where we closed roughly almost flat on the day. We saw lows hit here at 262, a high put in there at 268, a pullback higher low, lower high, and then we closed in here around the 266. Okay, so right away I'm focused on those two. I'm focused on the previous pivot high of the 268 and the previous pivot of the 262. How close do we gap on Monday? Do we gap near one? Are we going to see a bullish day? Do we gap down? Do we sell off? I pretty much essentially focus on those two levels, and whichever one we were closest to in pre-market, I was potentially looking for that side to break. So in pre-market here yesterday, so let me go over here, we saw it open a gap up towards those highs, and you'll see here, let me actually go to the 20-day so I can scroll back here for you. There we go. So you saw yesterday, we did see a gap up here over the right on the 269. We're right above these highs, are ripping up into the open. So at this point, what I was looking for was to see us sort of head higher over the 270, preferably to the 271, 272, where I was looking to actually open up a call spread, which is a bear call spread, which essentially means that I'm thinking the market's going to go down. And that was, let me go ahead and select it just like this. So that was this day right here. Because we gapped up, broke the lower high pattern we've been in for a while, and we were heading towards 270. I wanted to see us break this high as well around 271, 272, and then I was going to open up a call spread around 275. That was what I was hoping for. I wanted to see bullish momentum straight away in the morning. However, we didn't get that. What we saw instead was we saw a sell-off after that initial morning push. You'll see right here. We saw a run up here to the 270, pull back, flush below VWAP here at 1035. That's really important. Remember the 1035. Flush below VWAP right here, rejected, rejected again on VWAP, and since then lower highs all day until we accelerated into the close, into the market closes. There were some fears regarding the tariffs and all that. So what we have yesterday essentially was a bearish day where we had expectations in the bulls. People were buying this move, thinking we're going to head higher because we finally saw a break of those previous day's highs. Then we sold off all day for a bounce and recovery to the close. So heading into today, I was looking for a push towards that 270 level and then a fade off throughout the day. I was looking for weakness. I was looking for all the bagged longs who bought in this area to look to take off into the morning push. So heading into today, I was watching previously the 266 level and the 267 level because we had this choppy consolidation here below VWAP of yesterday. So pre-market, we saw a couple tops put in here at the 266. I was watching that. I didn't want to enter a call spread unless we broke the 266 or we're on it. So we went up here to the 266, broke through, strong, all the way up to the 267. That was my target I was looking for. So I went ahead and opened a call spread at 266.50. Okay, that was the price. The price of the SPY was at 266.50, but my call spread, I opened up when the SPY was at 266.50. To translate that to the SPX, because I trade the underlying on the SPX, how I traded that was, as you can see here, same thing. We had to yank it to the close, closed roughly here, push up. We had that previous resistance there at the 2660, and once we got to the right about here on the 2660, yep, right about here is where I went ahead and opened up that on the SPX, opened up my call spread. And what I opened up was the 2750 short side and then the 2760 long side of my call spread. I opened it for 2.55%. That was what I collected initially if it expired, completely worthless. And I sold that right about here. And so if we jump back over here to the SPY, I like to use the SPY just because I can have VWAP on it, all the different indicators. I opened that up right about here when the SPY was at 266.50. So I opened that up. As you can see, I nearly top tick this on the from a short perspective. We saw an initial pullback, rejected the 266.50, which is where my order, which is where I sold my call spread to maximize the amount of premium I got. That's why I was able to get 2.55%. Saw a pullback, bounce, Pull back here, flushed VWAP. Interesting point, we flushed VWAP at 10:35, the exact same time as yesterday. The exact same time down to like 60 seconds, okay? This is very important, guys. I was looking for that pattern. We flushed VWAP at 10:35 and saw an hour-long consolidation. Now, what I wanted to see was something similar to what we saw yesterday, okay? Which was we pulled up flush here at 10:35, consolidation, reject, and right about, at 11:08, right into this candle, toward 11:10, we pull back and sell off below VWAP. At that point, because of the fact that when I sell my call spread, it was for tomorrow's expiration, so the 31st, I wanted to take it off same day because I didn't want to risk a strong gap up because of the fact that on the weekly time frame, or I should say over the past 20 days, we've been heavily sold. Once we get one strong bullish day, I expect to see volume into the market, multiple pivot highs and resistance levels broken, and see us head up towards the 275 and up, right? So I didn't want to get in the way of momentum. I didn't want to hold overnight. So my goal was to open the call spread and close it early for maybe about 50-60% of the profits, okay? So how did that turn out? So here's what happened, guys. Pulled back here. We saw that consolidation under VWAP just like we did the previous day. Exactly. But instead of breaking down, we broke up. Here at 11:15, we reclaimed. 11:30 or 11:25, we broke VWAP. 11:30, we're heading back to the previous highs. Okay? On this day, the previous day, by 11:15 or by 11:11, we were yanking away from VWAP, and essentially we never looked back. See that? We just kept fading. So immediately right away, I noticed that this price action where we saw this consolidation below VWAP, a curl on the bottom and a break was likely setting up for a breakout over the high of the day. I did not anticipate that. This invalidated my idea that we were going to see weakness today. So what I went ahead and did was I took off my call spread, and to see exactly where I took it off at, I took it off right in here, right about 266. So it was below the entry, my initial entry. However, given the price of the options premium, I had to take a little bit of a loss. And so what that ended up being was losing 1.4% off my initial investment. Okay, so after the end of the trade, I ended up losing 1.4% of my initial investment. And so here we saw again from there we saw it head towards highs, right. Sorry, I keep jumping around there, guys. We saw it head back towards highs here on the 267, slowly sell off, bounce off VWAP, and hang off. After this, I wasn't going to enter into this chop, guys. I wasn't going to enter into it. Right about here, I was like, man, I could have held on to it and took it off for my 60% because at these lows, I was up 50% of my max profit. But I just didn't. But I was trying to get filled on the bid, right, to buy it back. I didn't want to just go ahead and just slap the ask. I wanted to get filled on the limit to add liquidity, and but I wasn't able to do that. Instead, every time we yanked, we got bought right back up. So there wasn't really enough time for me to get the fill I wanted. By the time I was willing to move up 5 cents on the fill, it was too late and we were already heading back up in premium prices. So later on in the day, we pulled back through VWAP, curled, and here it's about 3:40 p.m. And as you can see, we headed up and we did break the highs. So when we had a relatively strong market day, we're closing green and we were able to hold. So my timing was off. My short idea from this point to this point was great. Of selling that call spread, had the opportunity to cover up here for some pretty decent gains around like 0.8 or 1.2%, right around there. However, on the curl here, I wasn't able to. On the curl here, I wasn't able to get my fill, and so we headed up back to the highs. So while if I would have just took it off right here, I would have made money. And we rejected right here, and still I could have done it again. I could have made money here on this pullback and got my fill I wanted, because I did check the premiums. We were in this consolidation. It was right where I wanted, about that 60 to around 60% max profit. I could have took it off at right here at that 265 level late day. However, I was right in the fact that we were seeing relative strength this day. We were holding our lows fairly well, and now we headed up and broke the highs. So we'll see where we close. Hopefully we can jam up pretty high. We have been in a sort of a bear market the past couple days, so it's likely that we do see it, hopefully see a strong after hours and pre-market for a push tomorrow that might actually end up in getting a rejection there for a call spread, potentially. But what I wanted to do is just kind of talk you guys through my trade and how it worked out. Now, why I want to talk about why it's important to cut your losses, even when you're trading options. If it goes against your plan, go ahead and cut it. For me, I wanted to see something similar to the previous day. This is what I wanted to see. Weakness throughout the day, trending under VWAP for me to catch my fill on that limit order. Instead, what we saw was the lows being supported and we started ripping back towards the highs. I didn't want to get in this kind of situation because if we broke, the loss, instead of being 1%, it could have been 3% or it could have been 5%. And you don't want to let yourself get in those type of situations. When we held the lows here below VWAP, that invalidated my plan. Sometimes I'm able to get a fill if I'm a little bit quicker, and I will be next time to get a fill and take my partial profit or a smaller profit and get out. But sometimes, we try to fill on the limit and it just gets away from us. So I went ahead and took it off right about here. Sure enough, we came back, retested the lows, and head back up towards the highs. And now we'll see what'll happen tomorrow. Just to kind of review the percentages there with you and how this balances out. So at the end of the trade, I did lose 1.4%. Now, how does that compare to the past couple days of trading? Okay, so in the past 10 trades that I've taken, over the past week and a half, there were 9 winning trades and 1 losing trade. Okay, and this was that losing trade. So I was on a 9 trade win streak until now, and the gain from those 9 winning trades was 15.47% return on investment. The loss that I just took was 1.4%. So where that ends up over the past 10 days, I'm up 14.0% return on investment. That is pretty dang good. Okay. Given my risk profile and given how I've been trading, that's pretty dang good. So always keep things in perspective, guys. Yes, sure, I could have held, and once we rejected here, I could have got out down here and made a profit. But when it comes down to it, it's about trading smart. It's about controlling your emotions, trading like a machine, and not letting your need or your greed get ahead of yourself, or the emotion of not wanting to take a loss and not wanting to ruin your streak, causing you to fight the trade. Let it happen. There's easier trades out there. So that's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to kind of break this down for you and show you what I was looking at on the SPY. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to charting some a little bit tonight and sending out my newsletter to all the subscribers on my Patreon. Again, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, Twitter, email, comment section below. I definitely will get back with you. I love, helping other traders. And if you're interested in my newsletter or joining my private Discord, there's information for that on my Patreon. And I also offer a mentorship program if you just need a little extra help learning charts or learning trading psychology and just need support with that. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And my name is Bot Mentality. Continue to stay focused on controlling your emotions and trading like a machine. Deuces.